Hey, what's going on everyone? Today I'm going to be unboxing my first ever resin printer. I do have one other printer which I've had since April last year, which is the A1 Bambu Labs printer. The reason for me buying this resin printer is simply because I wanted to expand my horizons on 3D printing. Fallen in love with 3D printing since discovering it, I guess you could say, early last year. And I've just been addicted to 3D printing ever since. I've been printing all kinds of things such as, cosplays or props or even things that I use around the house just for storage. And it's just been an insane amount of fun. Can't wait to just expand into the universe of resin. Just for reference, this is my 3D A1 Bambu Labs printer. You can see I've started printing my own little modifications for it. And I've printed a lot of cool stuff throughout the last couple of months, especially with cons coming up and things like that. I want to hopefully build on that. The most fun that I've had in a long time creating stuff. So let's get to the new printer. All right, so this is my new printer, which is the Elegoo Saturn Ultra 4. As you can see, I've started buying some accessories for it. First thing I've definitely bought is gloves. You don't want to be touching resin without some of these gloves. The second thing that I got as well is I've got this standard polymer resin, kind of test out some prints. I'm not going to be printing in this video simply because, like I said, I don't have any of the sort of filtration thing like that set up right now. And as you can see, my air fryer is like over here. So my kitchen is literally there. I'm not going to be printing anywhere near my kitchen. But in future, I will have a full setup done and I will do a setup video. Finally, I bought a filter funnel. This one is from Elegoo. I think it's a stainless steel one from what I recall. Just some accessories there for that one. I'm actually gonna start unboxing it now and place it up on this bench. Now, this is just gonna be a temporary spot where I house my printer right next to my other printer, but this is definitely something that will eventually have its own place. Now I know that this printer is actually in there sideways, so I am going to tilt this after I open it. So firstly, what comes in the box there, you've got the power line. Now, based on what I can see here, this side is the bottom. And it comes in a lot of foam. So the fun part begins of me trying to wiggle this out. Now with the Elegoo, it does look like it comes with a sick tray. Now, I have seen minor videos. I've tried my best not to watch a lot of videos when it comes to unboxing, just so I have my own experience of it. But I do know that they came with this sort of catcher for Elegoo's branding. This is just to prevent any overspill of the resin when you are taking the build plate off. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually prop this up onto the table and get it all sort of set up. I'm gonna show you some of the things that it comes with at the back, as well as maybe even internally. I haven't watched many videos on it, but I have seen some of the basic functions. One of the coolest things that I've realized with this over a lot of other printers that I've seen that are sort of like older models is that this actually has like a tilting lid, so it stays attached and it kind of just tilts backwards as opposed to having full case that comes off. Secondly, this also has a Wi-Fi connector so I can update it. Comes with a tilt plate, which is new technology as well. I'm definitely going to have a look into that and see how all of those functions work when I actually do print the stuff. But for now, let's see what this looks like. A little bit of ASMR for you. Inside the box, you also get a little instruction manual. I'm sure I'm going to be doing some reading, but you know me, I like to look at my stuff through YouTube, so I'm probably going to watch more videos on that. Ooh, she's a beauty. And I do like this color scheme for the Saturn Ultra 4. It is black or grayish. It's like this gunmetal gray, which is cool. Something that I really found with these 3D printers that a lot of these manufacturers do really well is that they package these like insanely well. And top of that, you're also paying for, reliability and safety when these things get moved around, so. Now, this seems a little tricky to get off simply because there is foam inside. But look at that. What I would say is you want to make sure that you have some clearance behind. I would say probably maybe 20 to 25 centimeters behind from the actual back, just so that this doesn't scrape your wall. So luckily for me, where it is now, it's perfect. Now there is quite a lot of sick foam on here. Look at that, it's just perfectly cut out just to kind of give it a nice snug fit. Now be aware that when you're removing this, which I just found now, is if you remove this second bit of foam, there is a box there with the Elegoo 2 kit. So be very careful, otherwise you might pull that out. See how it's structure on the bottom. And then that also reveals the build plate, which is here. All right, so the cool thing that I found about the build plate is that this actually has like a locking mechanism in here. Some have screw-on ones and it can be a little bit finicky, but this one comes with like an absolutely sick mechanism where it just kind of slides into place, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, as I mentioned before, that's the locking mechanism there. So that literally just slides in, and I'm gonna show you that in a second. But first, let's just do this. Ready? And that's the beautiful build plate there. So first things first, I'm gonna slide this just into here. Just like that, so that fits in perfectly there. And you essentially just press that down. That's it. As I mentioned before, this is also for the VAT system, so I believe it just goes in there like that once it's all like tilted up and whatnot, and that just keeps it from spilling. Depending on where you're from, you will get different connectors here. Now, me being from Australia, the Aussie one. All right, so while I've just unboxed all of that before I start unscrewing anything, I just want to show you what comes in the toolkit. So you do get these gloves, which I've heard are okay, but they're not the best. You get these awesome screws, which I'm probably gonna find out what they do later. You get this antenna. From what I know currently, I think you cannot do what you can with the A1 printer, which is I can send prints to this wirelessly. The time of the recording of this video, I think you can't do that on this one yet. But hopefully updates will come out where that will be something that can happen. I've heard a lot about this. This is the metal scraper. I've heard a lot of people say don't use this, just so you don't scratch your build plate, or at least if you do use it with caution. So the good news is that they do also give you a plastic scraper, which is great. They give you a mask as well. I've heard this is terrible. I mean, this probably didn't protect any people through COVID, so I don't think it's gonna protect you from toxic fumes. So they include this, which is hectic. That's really, really cool. I like that they've given you that, because in this day and age, not many people carry USBs, albeit USB-A. So the fact that they include this, and this takes USB-A. Lastly, they have some filters, which I'm gonna use with my funnel, and of course, power brick. And finally, from what I know, they include Chitu box. I think a few days ago, they just came out, Elegoo came out with their very own splicing software, which basically helps with everything. Now, I am gonna use this, of course, because I got it for free. So Satellite, Elegoo's one, only available on Windows, not Mac. It's not available on Mac at the moment, so I will be looking into getting that once it's available on Mac, because I use a Mac Studio for everything that I do. Now, one of the cool things that I appreciate about most of the newer 3D printers in this day and age is that they do come with a camera inside. Pop! There you go, now I can watch my prints. My A1 Bambu Labs does come with its own camera, but unfortunately it is sort of what I would consider, yeah, the entry level. So it's not exactly the best camera. It's actually one of the worst cameras I've ever seen, which is the only drawback. See how big that build plate is? It's like, if I compare it to my hand, it's like my whole hand can pretty much almost print on that if I had it flat, right? So the build plate is about that big. So, and then in terms of the height, you're looking at pretty much the same, my hand. So any sort of 3D model that I can print in this thing is gonna be actually really good. And you can see it's calibrating. So there you have it. That's the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. I have set it all up. I've got the wash system here, the curing kit here, and I've got the printer. It's all done, and it's set up right next to my A1 Bambu Labs. Side note, I also have a Creality drying system. It can dry up to 2 spools at a time, and I also have the AMS light system. So this is it. This is my whole 3D printing setup. You can see on the bottom there, I also have, don't mind the printer, but I have all my tools and everything I need. And that's it, that's my setup. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll be uploading more content in regards to my 3D prints. And if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. If there's other stuff you wanna see, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. See ya. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feeling when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in stars.